In my previous The Isle of Evrima devblog breakthrough video, I talked about Quetzal's concept art, beipiaosaurus, and of course a whole chatter about update 6. Today, we're talking about a lot more. We're talking about human structures, Troodon, night vision, and a whole bunch more. Timestamps for everything out on the screen now, and if you are new, feel free to subscribe, but other than that, let's dive right into the video. We are starting off with a huge amount of dinosaur news, from Troodon to Baryonyx to kentrosaurus to gallimimus to ceratosaurus and a whole bunch more. But first, I'm going to start off with Troodon because we actually know quite a bit about it. Firstly, Troodon is nearing completion but needs some supporting effects and then needs to be tested before it is considered ready. But the good news is that it's making big progress and Troodon is essentially almost complete. Wedge has also been working on sounds for Troodon the last month. He's done the final sounds for the adults and has created a juvenile variant for the majority of the sounds for Troodon, as well as sounds for the hatchling stage of this dinosaur's growth journey. All of those sounds are implemented into the game and will be tested extensively to ensure that they work and to ensure that maybe some improvements may be needed on them. But yeah, to ensure it works as intended for Troodon. That's some great news for that. Speaking of dinosaurs, we have some others to talk about. Firstly, Baby. We're mentioning it once again after talking about it a lot in the last devblog, which I recommend you check out. The animation work for this dinosaur has been worked diligently towards animation completion stage, indicating its animations are almost complete. Apparently, it's also a very tough dinosaur to work with according to the developers. Now let's move into some other dinosaurs. Firstly, ceratosaurus and gallimimus. They have slowed down this month. However, the main reason for that is because the devs have been amping up the pressure and scaling up production on Baby and Troodon, and the animation work for those two, essentially Cerato and Galli, are a lot less intensive compared to Troodon and Baby, so do bear that in mind. Maybe they're still working on them, but they don't need to put too much into it. And of course, other dinosaurs made an appearance in this devblog. Oviraptor, Baryonyx, kentrosaurus, and Dilophosaurus. The developers say this about them: none have entered the animation stage just yet. However, some of their supporting art should be making an appearance in the not so distant future, and they will also be featured in some upcoming streams, so you'll be able to see them in the future in some streams. And if you want to be kept in the loop for that, feel free to subscribe, because I'll probably be doing a video breaking them down. To me, it's good to see that dinosaurs are getting a lot of love. Let me know your thoughts about all of this in the comments down below, and well, yeah, let's just talk about the next stuff, shall we? Now, there's one thing I want to talk about before I get into night vision, and that is tree climbing. This was talked about, I believe it was talked about DMIV when he was talking about the beipiaosaurus and all that. He said this: most of the month was actually spent working on something I had been waiting to work on for a long time. Climbing. The idea originally came up along with the pteranodon's latch mechanic, but ultimately we didn't have the time to include it. I have always really enjoyed climbing in games where it's possible, so I was pretty excited by the idea of taking a stab at it myself. There's a lot of things that can go wrong with a system like this. You can have all kinds of complex surfaces and a character moving along in every possible direction. Making it work reliably and looking nice and smooth is quite a challenge. There's still a good bit of work left to do, but it's coming along nicely. So a climbing system will be coming in the game soon. Wonder what dinosaurs will be on and able to use it? We'll have to wait and see. But let's talk about night vision, because it's quite important, this one. For those who weren't aware, there are some issues with the night vision system, mainly for people who are photosensitive or have epilepsy. It does mess with their eyes a lot and can cause epileptic fits, really bad migraines and stuff like that. The devs have listened and heard about this. Kisson said this: we have received a lot of your feedback in regards to the new night vision, causing some of our more sensitive players motion sickness and headaches, and are working on making some adjustments to make it easier on the eyes. We take this matter seriously and want to make sure we can make the night vision experience comfortable for as wide a range of players as possible. Should it take longer than expected to make those adjustments, we will revert night vision in the interim, so we don't bar any of you from playing the game while we craft a solution. Which is all fine and dandy. I'm glad that they're actually looking into this, because I did get a few comments saying people aren't able to play anymore, especially because nights are now just not playable for them, because they'll more prone to epileptic fits or really bad migraines and stuff like that because of the night vision system, and then they can't really play because it's pitch black anyways. So yeah, I'm glad they are looking into this. And finally, Visual Tech has talked and blessed us with some cool stuff, mainly for human structures. A lot of art for human structures, which will be featured probably in Update 6 because we did get some talk about them. Focusing on the damage pass to show damage and grunge on the buildings in general, with leaks and rust and dirt and grime on the buildings shown on them, which is pretty neat. First image shows this off quite nicely. A lot of damage, a lot of rust details. It looks great, personally. I think it looks really nice. There's a lot of color variation here too. You can see that on some of them it's more orangey, and that's because of rust, whereas the lighter grey is probably just weathering damage from grime and dirt, where it's plucked away at the paint and showing the bare metal surface. I really like it. I do see and sense some water leaks showing on this as well, but yeah, it's really cool. Weathering overall, rust and everything, it's nice to see on buildings, and it gives that extra level of depth. Speaking of extra level of depth, we have damage decals that were scanned in and color corrected to make them game ready. These seem to be concrete damage in a sense for roads or building sides. I think it's really nice with the grooves, the marks, the indents and everything like that. It makes the building's exterior seem more rough, weathered, and not a solid brand new block like a brand new building that will look out of place. It looks like it's been there for some time. Additionally, we can see some exteriors starting to get remodeled using that damage decal, which was shown above. There's also some masks on the metal parts of the buildings that show damage and weathering on them too. I like that little subtle evidence of weathering and age on the metal. It's not obviously going to be a clear evidence because metal doesn't show it as well as concrete, but I like that it's done nevertheless. And finally, we have some CCTV cameras, and I want to say these models look insanely realistic. They look really nice. There's two variations. I'll have them both on the screen while I'm talking about them. One of the model variations actually has some insane detail on it because it's got a cobweb that I just noticed, and that just goes to show look at the detail on the cobweb. How did they put detail on a cobweb? That is probably tiny and probably like a couple pixels. That being said, it's great to see, and I wonder if these will be controllable as well, that you'll be able to see dinosaurs or people walking around on CCTV cameras in a comms room or something like that. Let me know your thoughts about all of these human structures and these CCTV cameras. I think they look absolutely great. And there we have it, everybody. That's the final video for the roundup for the Isle of Rima's devblog. Some huge dinosaur news with Troodon, ceratosaurus, kentrosaurus, Baryonyx, gallimimus, beipiaosaurus, Dilo. It's crazy. I can't wait for all of this. Can't wait to see more. But yeah, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. I do appreciate the support on the channel lately. It means a ton. Thank you so much for 16,000 subscribers. But other than that, of course, let's push to the next goal. And I'll see you all in the next one. Have a great day. Peace.